Hello again. In today's Shibboleth virtual grocery tour, we're going to talk about finally one of your favorite subjects, bread. Yep, bread might make you dead. It depends. Are you following the Shibboleth formulas or not? And of course, the whiter the bread, the quicker you're dead. We need to really understand breads, processed breads, whole grain breads. Look, whole grain breads can be okay for us if we're in maintenance. All right. We don't want to just go with any whole grain, whole wheat bread just because we've heard it's good for us. Because you see, well, let me put it back on me. I was really overweight, so my life was out of balance. In order to get back balanced, I had to be out of balance for a while and not eat whole wheat and whole grains because they spike your blood sugar. And then your pancreas releases a load of the fat bus, and then you're in trouble. Okay. So we want to really control our quantity and portions of whole wheat, whole grain bread, even though they're approved on the Shibboleth program. They're what we call a category 3 complex carbohydrate. And as long as we combine a 1 and 2 with them, moderate our portion, or a 7 and 2, which we learned in Fast Track, you'll be all right, but it's not going to be the fastest weight loss. Let me explain. See, whole wheat, whole grain is comprised of 3 main parts: the bran, the germ, and the endosperm. That's going to be the part that you find predominantly in the processed breads. But whole wheat, whole grain, see, they've got a barrier, a protective layer called the bran. This is the outer layer of the grain. It's rich in fiber, B vitamins, and minerals. And what you learn in Fast Track is fiber controls the fat bus. So this is good. When we eat a whole grain, our blood flow speeds up, goes to the digestive system, and begins to try to break through that bran, through that fiber to get to the germ and the endosperm. So after it breaks through the bran to break this food down, then we get to the embryo, the germ, that has the potential to sprout into a new plant. That's that germ. It contains B vitamins, some protein, minerals, and healthy fats. Again, your body's got to work really hard to get through the bran and the germ to get to the endosperm, and that's the part that really elevates your blood sugar. But see, your body's had to work really hard to get through those barriers to the endosperm, so you get a slow blood sugar rise and your pancreas releases insulin then, but it's not much insulin. Then when you're combining it with a protein and fiber, we get to control the fat bus. But now, most of the breads in the supermarket are the ones we definitely don't want to be consuming. Very refined grain, where there's really nothing but the endosperm. This is your sunbeam bread, your Wonder Bread. The whiter the bread, the quicker you're dead. Terrible for you. It's actually higher on the glycemic index than pure sugar. 2 slices of white bread could be equivalent to 18 teaspoons of sugar as far as your body's concerned. And that means a raging fat bust. Appetite goes up. Fat storage takes place. And efficient fat burning stops for up to 48 hours. And you're destroying your mitochondrial health, which means you're not going to live as long. I know, calm down. See, this is where I started my entire program. I loved peanut butter sandwiches. Peanut butter was mostly fat. The white bread was all endosperm. I was putting that together along with some jelly too. And I had this big raging fat bus after I would eat that peanut butter sandwich. Sure, it was pretty low calorie. I thought I was doing good, but I was storing fat and I was staying in fat storage mode around the clock. But I come up with formulas. I come up with amazing formulas. And I looked for bread that tastes just like white bread, but broke down in my body more like, say, a green bean, if you begin with the end in mind, than it did a white bread. And you'll be surprised. There are more than 60 approved breads and tortillas at your supermarket, most supermarkets, that work and break down in the body more like a green bean than they do a white bread. And you're not having to deal with all that endosperm. What's the difference? Why do these breads taste like a regular, say, white bread, but they don't cause the blood sugar rise that a white bread does, and they don't cause the fat bust? Because we have bread formulas that we teach all of our members. These bread formulas are amazing, and it means that bread is fortified with enough protein and or fiber to put the brakes on the fat bust so we can keep losing weight. And that's how I lost 44 pounds in my first 6 weeks, eating things like peanut butter sandwiches and grilled cheese sandwiches. I just used a different bread. I used a different cheese. I used pretty much the same peanut butters, but my goodness, was the result profoundly different. That's why I want the whole world to know about this thing. You see, it's just a pivot from what you're doing. It's a pivot, and it works so powerfully when you learn food combining. You're getting to eat all your favorite stuff. You're just doing a pivot and buying different products that meet our food formulas so that you can put the brakes on the fat bus. So when you're going through that bread department, make sure that you get Shibboleth approved breads. Category 2 breads is what we call them. Make sure you get them when you're in the weight loss mode, and eat the category 3 breads very sparingly, if ever, until you reach maintenance. And please, whatever you do, unless it's a Shibboleth holiday, avoid the whiter the bread, the quicker you're dead. I'll see you in the next lesson.